on the escalator again.
Leave it alone.
What?
Comics.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
TV and movies. Wrestling. Music.
We are just getting started!
Finally, a podcast about things you actually care about, hosted by a couple of guys who actually care about those things too.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Maybe a little too much.
Yes, that's awesome.
The talented one, Chris Machete.
That no-talent ass clown became famous.
And Brenton, you know, that guy from your other favorite podcast.
I liked it. I was good at it.
So grab onto the handrail and don't let go.
I'm gonna get a medic! There's a little boy caught the escalator!
This is the Kids on the Escalator podcast.
Woo!
Here's CM and BD.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Hello.
The show, the final show,
Yay.
has begun.
Hooray.
Everybody, what's going on? Happy ho ho, Merry Christmas, all the rest of it. It's the Kids on the Escalator podcast. It's the final episode.
It is. I just got to shut my door here 1 second. Entertain the folks for just 2
That's
seconds.
right. I'll entertain the folks with this fine looking merch right here. Lots of details to come on what's coming.
Wife's downstairs listening to something really loud.
We'll fill you all in on later on what's ahead. But anyways, it's the it's the last one under this moniker, and we're gonna change things up a little bit going into 2023. But what a way to wrap it up. We always love doing this. This is the It Came From the Basement, our final. It's kind of we usually do Christmas movies, or It Came From the Basement around this time, and it just felt natural to do this, which is people showing off retro cool shit, things that they might have buried in the basement. You've got tons of it. You've always
I
got
brought a
tons
whole
of it.
bin. A whole
You got
bin full.
tons and tons of things.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff, dude. A lot of stuff, which is awesome.
We've put a lot we put it out to a lot of feelers and a lot of people to step in and join. We'll see who actually jumps by and says hello. But the link is out there for a handful of people to come on by.
That's great.
Yeah.
So call me Huey Lewis because I've got some news. So
We're gonna call Chris Huey Lewis because he's got some news. Go ahead, man.
the new issue from Machete Comics, excuse me, this is a reprint of issue number 1.
Look at that.
Which sold out like in a month. There's only 100 copies of this available. It's got the variant cover on there. It's the variant edition. You can see down there. There's only 100 copies of this available. It's basically the reprint of issue 1 that everybody's been clamoring for. Everybody's been demanding it. Plus some extra cool artwork in the back that's really, really neat. And it has a back cover now, artwork. So some extra artwork, new cover by Machete Comics, which is really, really neat. So it's going to be released on Thursday, the 28th. I'm doing an in-store at the mall here in Kingston, the Frontenac Mall, the big mall. Cool. Yeah, so it's kind of a big deal. So what we're going to do that day, that's the first day it's available physically. I have three issues. There's issue 1, 2, and 3. These are first printings of 2 and 3. You can get all 3 issues for $20 at the Frontenac Mall, Kingston Mall, the great big mall. On Thursday, December the 28th, and now this will be available online the next day on the 29th. That'll be a Friday, and this will be available online worldwide. You can buy it from my website. I'm going to have some special deals on my Whatnot store online, which is, man, comic books are really. Rob Liefeld's on there, DC's on there, everybody's doing specials on there. So if you're a comic book fan, you know about Whatnot, and I have my Whatnot store out there. So the 28th, the physical copy will be available. I will be at the Frontenac Mall, and the Kingston Mall. I will be promoting my comic book and my artwork, just to show you some other stuff that I will have available. This is some canvas work that I did. This is a Spider-Man. This will be available. This is on a
Look
canvas.
At that. You're just new to the canvas too, which is rad.
Thank you. So I'm flying through those. So also I will have available. Now these are really hot these days too, when artists get the blank cover comic books and then they put their own cover on them, right? So here's a Deadpool comic that I drew that right on there. Now these will be able to be available for $15. This is the actual Deadpool number 1's in there, variant edition of the Deadpool King.
Oh, so you took the comic book, you drew your own cover, and you put it over top of it. But when they open it up, they'll see the original.
Yeah, check this out. So I got an example here.
Wow,
so the comic book stores give me these, right? And I was just there doing my Scholastic, my last one of the year instructions. So here's to give you a perfect example, my friend. So this one will be available when I'm at the mall as well. Here it is. Fantastic Four, blank cover, right? Number 1. So yeah, you look inside and it's the comic book. There you go.
Wow, look at
It's
that.
the book. So
you can
I
put
draw.
you can
So
put
I
all
do
your
my
own
cover
cool
on
shit
it.
on the side.
You get original artwork on a cover of a comic book. So, and I'll sell this for $15 at the mall there. So they'll probably go, oh, this one and the Fantastic Four one, $15 each. I'm thinking maybe 15, 20, depending on how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? But whatever I don't sell will be available online the next day, which is what I do on my Whatnot store. So yeah, so we have the blank covers of that. And then just one other thing I want to show you, friends, that will be available. And this is always available too, but this is just going out to, I had this printed today. It's just our rendition of Stranger Things, one of my favorite scenes when Max is floating in the air there, and it's got all the cool little Easter eggs on the
and Chris drew,
well.
you drew that.
Oh yeah, I drew that. First I drew that with pencil first, and then I inked it, and then I scanned it in, and then I colored it on the computer as I just did with the band Elephant there. I colored their cover the same way, the exact same way as I did that. But that was my own artwork. Where Elephants was done by another gentleman that I had the.
And you colored it.
Great, the honor to color. That's what I was looking for.
Hey Gary, we got Gary in the waiting room to come in here for Elephant, but you should send that cover, Gary, to the chat. If you can send it to the chat, we can put it in. And until then,
so the 28th. So yeah, at the mall, the 28th.
Yep.
December 28th, I will be at the mall, Frontenac Mall. And then I will the following day, all online. My website, if you go to my online store, not what, there will be a whole bunch of bargains on there. And I just want to send out a thank you to Nexus Comic Books. Nexus Comic Books for the I do my Scholastic teaching through them, the Captain Underpants and all that stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And they send down the supplies for them. It's half that and half Machete Comics. And to be honest with you, the kids I think dig the Machete Comics a little more. That's because I get them to do superheroes that are more like Marvel stuff. But anyway, I just want to throw out a thank you to Adam and Mike and all the guys down there for helping me out. I can't remember all your names. I apologize. The last one of the year was yesterday, or was Sunday. Yeah, yesterday. And it was fantastic. I have so much fun going down there. If you follow me on TikTok or any of my forums, you will see I put my day condensed to a Wicked Thin Lizzy song.
That was really cool.
Cowboy.
That was
really
cool.
Brent?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was my day. Okay, so there you go. So sorry. So that's my pump on what I'm doing with Machete Comics. Thank you, everybody who supported me so far with buying number 1, because when you sell out on a comic book, it's every comic book artist and writer's dream is to sell it out, but then have the demand for a second printing, man. To me, that's just like, thank you. Thank you so much.
As this goes through, number 1, well, I want to get you to touch on what a variant means too, because a lot of people just like, but we'll get into that on the second.
I don't have the original one there. I don't know if you have it on hand, but the original cover is different, right? So a variant cover. Yeah, there's the original cover, issue 1. Now you can see it's January 20th. So that was the original printing 1. This is printing number 2 with the variant cover. So it's basically the same info inside that people missed out on, fans of my comic book missed out on. Because when you come in on number 2 and 3, you're like, dude. So, and if you can't find it anywhere, so now here it is. But it's got some bonus pages in the back with some fantastic artwork. And we've got like a supervillain pinup page like Marvel does, but now Machete does, because I'm picking up where Marvel left off, maybe in like the 80s, I would say. That's kind of where I'm picking up with things. Just, yeah.
No, thanks.
I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm really excited to get out there. Again, Nexus Comics, thank you so much. The room and the Scholastic that we used for the Scholastic lessons was fantastic. They had a fireplace in there for me, dude. They had these statues in there for me. That again,
I saw that.
If you follow me, you will see how much effort they put in there for me. Like it's great, and for the kids, all the parents loved it. So,
it was really cool. I thought it was rad. It was a really cool vibe in the place and everything. So, I want you to hold up one of those, one of your, the canvas that you did. Because I think it would be great. I think it would be great for our first guest, which is going to be Lachlan Cross, for something like this for his brand new home.
Oh yeah,
that he's got going on. Lachlan, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Hey, buddy.
Hello. How are you?
Good.
Welcome back, buddy. It's been a while since we've seen you. I hope you're well.
I know. I don't have a lot of comic book stuff, guys.
It's retro. Okay. It's literally, it came from the basement, Lachlan.
It's just stuff you enjoy from your past.
I knew you had to jump early, and you've been in the middle of a move, and so I wanted to kick it off with you because you've been
perfect.
moving, and you're
so. I will say this: I am not. I'm not much of a collector because I moved so much. So I have the pieces I've kept, the things that I have in my house had to have had some significance, like because we were just like you move every 5 years, you purge, right?
Sure, but you kept something.
But I did keep things, and I was in radio stations and I was a music director, and the one thing I regret, I never got pictures, I didn't get stuff signed, I never did any of that. Like I just never have been that guy. But I got a couple of things when you told me, Brent, that we were doing this, I was like, wow, I'm actually in the middle of a move and I'm actually unloading stuff. So I actually have it all in boxes. So I went through it today and I grabbed a couple of things that I thought were cool. So this is a gold record.
Yeah,
wow.
We can see it there. Yeah.
For Tool. I probably shouldn't have taken this away from the building.
Nah, you should have.
As a music director for a lot of years.
Where's Power 97 was Winnipeg, right?
Yeah, Power 97. I got some interesting stuff when I was like a music director. You get a lot of promo shit.
Yeah.
And bands that are like this is a fun band, and I always enjoyed these guys.
Oh, that's cool.
Me first. And it's probably not worth shit, but it just stuff you can't get rid of because I like the band and they sent me shot glasses. I mean, come on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a cool graphic on the box as well. The graphics on the box are decent.
Yeah. That was like a super group punk band.
Oh yeah.
You guys know about Me First and the Gimme Gimmes? I'm guessing you do.
Geez, yeah.
Yeah.
They're fucking so cool. Anyway.
Fat Mike.
So oh yeah, sorry. I'm used to the Dean Blundell podcast.
Which is way more organized than this, but hey, here we go.
Oh, Matthew Good. Wow.
That's the Alabama Hotels. That's when bands sent in like demos to you guys.
Yeah, that gave me a deja vu. Wow, that's wild.
I don't know why I kept that.
That's cool though.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know if I've ever played it either.
Lachlan, I've got one from Big Wreck. Remember the original Big Wreck demo that went out?
Yeah.
That would have been like 97 or 98. But before that record came out, they sent out a cassette tape with 4 songs. And like that song, the Oath was on it. But then there was 2 other songs on that I don't believe made it to the record that were killer. So hey, having that kind of shit is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? Like that's just a little bit different. This is probably not that rare. I don't know, but it's a Sub Pop record that I got back 100 years ago.
Let's see.
So it's got like Tad on there, Nirvana.
Tad. Jeez.
Oh, wow.
Gary might have played with a couple of these bands. Our next guest, Gary Bagner, who plays in Hellbent, but he might have played with some of these bands.
That's what started it all, basically, in the grunge era there, huh?
Yeah, Cat Butt. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that might be Spank Through, and maybe Gary knows. I think that was their first Sub Pop record, like single.
There's Gary there. Hey, Gary.
Oh, hey.
We're just bringing you in here because Lachlan held up a Sub Pop record, and he's got a quiz for you.
Was Spank Through the first Sub Pop single from Nirvana?
Oh, I don't actually know. Here's a little known fact. I wasn't a big Nirvana kid.
Yeah, you know what? I was more of a Pearl Jam Soundgarden kid. I kind of caught on to Nirvana after the fact, actually, to be honest.
When Nirvana broke, I was more into the the beginning of the SoCal kind of punk scene. So like the Big Drill Car, Descendants, all that stuff was starting to, and that's where I was at. And then when Nirvana hit, it was like, holy geez. So I'd never followed it. It was guys like, oh man, some of the guys that I hung out with would be able to tell you all that stuff.
There were some cool bands on that compilation of Gary.
It would be interesting to know what version of Spank Through that is, because that's probably like the very first ever recorded version of that, if it was redone again or anything. And that could be it, possibly. Actually, Google it and see if that's the first song. But either way, I think the vibe on that song 80.
This
what
is
year?
91.
Yeah.
Was that production credit on it for who produced it?
You know what? It's a comp thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, so there wasn't.
You should put producers on there though.
91 though. That's at the beginning. Like
That's
very,
at the beginning of it.
Love
There's some
Bug,
bands in there though, Gary.
Big Cheese 45.
Wow.
Big Cheese
No.
45.
Mel says she was having babies in the 90s, so she was rocking Raffi.
There you go.
There we go. Aren't we all?
I
Very
got
cool.
I got two more things.
Yes.
Sure, buddy. Let's have
And
a
then
look.
and then you guys can get rid of me.
Oh, the
Hanson
Hanson brothers.
Brothers?
Were we just Gary? Weren't you just talking about them?
Yep. Yeah, the other day. One of the last shows I was on.
We were talking about Lachlan, we were talking
Unsung.
about most underrated punk bands of all time,
Yeah.
and we had
This is
Darren
the
on
hockey
from-
song
That's awesome.
Yep.
and the enemy.
That's awesome.
I played that on the radio. I'll have you know. There you go. Put that in your mainstream pipe and smoke it. And then I don't even know what the fuck this is, to be honest with you.
Picture
Like-
disc.
Looks like a picture disc with a rapist. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's a picture disc. Yeah, it's a record picture disc.
Yeah. It's got
yeah.
Dope Show on it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I've never even played this. I just remember seeing it. I got like probably 4 or 5 really weird like LPs that I don't even know what they are, to be honest with you. And then this is one of my favorites.
Oh, Burt
Is that
Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds? The soundtrack? Gator.
Is that Beverly D'Angelo with him? Who is that?
Gator. Oh man.
It looks like Beverly D.
Jerry Lee Lewis. No, Jerry Reed.
Jerry Reed,
right? From
Reed.
he was in all the Smoking the Bandits. He was he was smoking. Or no, he was the snowman.
Yeah. Anyway, that was fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
had
So that's
fun
all the
digging
stuff
that
that you.
stuff
That's
up.
all the stuff that you found in your recent move too.
Well,
Looks like
yeah.
You got some blank walls there, Chris. I think we got to get him something.
Oh
That
yeah,
wall there.
some artwork for sure. I got a lot.
Do a commission of
See,
Lachlan
you guys
slamming Dean
like
Blundell into
Machete.
a
You don't move. Like you've been. How long have you been in your house?
No, just 5 years. I've only been. I've
Oh,
recently
really?
moved. Yeah, I tried to move from Port Perry for like 3 years, and then I finally got out. I'm not going anywhere now. But sidebar, my wife was really sick, and I had to do it all myself in 3 trips in one of those great big renter cube vans, dude. I was hauling. You should have seen me. I was a monster. I was grabbing couches, one end up, throwing the other end in. Yeah, did it in
Wow.
3 days and 3 different moves, buddy. Yeah.
Wow.
Horrible.
Wow. I can't imagine somebody with your like collection disease
Yeah.
moving.
No,
My
it was,
wife used to make me every time we moved, she'd make me throw out a new one of my collections. I had 15, 16, 17, 18 years worth of Rolling Stones magazines.
Ooh.
Because I started getting Rolling Stone when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And in the 90s when we moved, she was like, no, you're getting rid of them. So I had to get rid of those. I've lost.
My wife just did that with my toys, buddy. Like, so we, like you said, so I was going through these big bins. My wife's like, what are in those 3 bins? It's like unopened action figures. But what do you think they're worth? I was like, individually or as a whole? And I should have shut up. Oh man, well, the whole thing's worth like $300 and each one I could get like $20 for. My wife's like, put them online. It's like, oh.
It's like that scene from the 40-Year-Old Virgin, and then you made me get rid of my toys.
Yeah. So I siphoned off a bunch of them, buddy. But and I sold a bunch of I just last month sold a whole bunch of my Star Wars action figures. Yeah.
Oh no.
Gary
I
bought them all.
will not tell Jimmy.
No.
Jimmy from my show. He's a huge
We
Star
tried to get
Wars
Jimmy
fan.
tonight, but he says he's rammed, so we'll bring.
He's
Jimmy
rammed.
back.
Okay, well, we'll take
bring him
that
back.
for what it is.
We'll bring him back another time. Either rammed. He's either rammed or wasted. It was one of those two that he sent me.
A little bit from column A, a little bit from column B.
As
Lachlan
long as
Cross.
he's not being rammed while wasted.
That's it. Well, what part of Edmonton does he live in?
All right,
Lachlan,
guys. Well, thanks
you
for
buddy.
having me.
Hey, tell us all about where the people can find you, sir. After all, this is the final promote show of the year. This is the final Kids on the Escalator podcast. We want to thank you for appearing on here at times and also listening to us and mostly Chris trying to convince you to enter the MCU universe and watch movies, and you did, and you're a good sport about it. So thank you very much for that. That was awesome.
Well, thank
buddy.
you.
It's
I've
always good to
enjoyed
chat
my
with you, man.
time
I love
on
the
here.
music stuff.
I look forward to the sort of new iteration of the podcast moving forward. So keep me posted on that. We should get you guys on the Blundell thing when you guys Remind me.
It's already there.
Is it okay? Yeah,
but it's part of the thing, but we haven't been on yet. So,
but when you guys are launching, we should get you on to talk about it too. You know, to help you promote it. No, you can find me in Edmonton at 95.7 Cruise FM. Find me on Twitter at Lachlan Cross. I'll follow you back. Follow for a follow. And I'm on the Dean Blundell Podcast Network. That afternoon live thing that we do every day,
which is must listen to.
Super entertaining.
It's a lot of fun.
Must listen to.
A lot of fun. We definitely we have some twists and turns on that podcast, and I have learned a lot about being a broadcaster because of that show. If I'm being honest. All right, and I'm 125 years old.
Well, thanks for making a time for a little old us, my man. We appreciate your time, buddy.
Brent, Chris, you guys have a good night. Thanks for having me,
dude.
Thanks,
great
buddy.
holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
We got a few people in the waiting in the waiting room. I just feel like we're going to get to a really good spot on a conversation here. So we got some of our favorites in here waiting. So we're going to bring back our good buddy Juan Bagnell from Some Gadget Guy. This guy's the best YouTube channel in the history of YouTube channels, right there. And our good friend Ash Lindley. How are you, Ash? So welcome to It Came from the Basement. Now, Juan, I think you did this with us last year, but you got some great stuff that you always have, and I thought you got to come on here. Ashley has been joining us for a couple of weeks, going over some horror movies and stuff, and claims that she had some pretty rad stuff to bring. And of course, Gary always has some great stuff in there. Who's got to go first? I think
not it.
I was gonna say, looking behind this guy, I can't top what he's got. So I think we should probably do me, and then
Okay, I'll start with you.
yeah, because I can't top what's coming from the Gadget Guy. So, Well, I'm not a collector of anything in particular. Like I have a Stephen King problem, and I am in the basement, so these came from the basement, but that's not what we're doing today. I have something that came from my grandfather's basement, which I thought was kind of cool.
Okay.
I went to visit him this summer, and he handed me a bag, and he was like, "Do you remember any of this stuff?" And I did. And they're not necessarily vintage, but they're about the same age as me. So I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I've got the whole family.
You got them all.
Mm-hmm,
wow.
I do.
They look
very
like originals.
Cool.
And
they would be. Yeah.
They're not in great shape, I will tell you.
On the video stream, I was just going to say, those look like they're in great shape.
No, they could be better. Like they could use cleaned up for sure. At the back of Maggie looks like a murder scene. I'm not even going to flip it around. It will terrify you. And when when I pulled it out, the head was on backwards. So that was kind of terrifying, actually.
There you go.
But they've got some weight to them. There's pretty hard plastic going on. They're pretty intense. And I've got Bart hanging out here too. Nice. So yeah, like I said, I've got the whole Simpson family from the 90s here, just kind of hanging out. And yeah, I'm glad that Popsy handed them over. I'm pretty stoked about it.
That's really cool.
I thought if anybody should see them, it was you guys.
What are they made out of?
Oh, like definitely. Okay, so they've got like these weird kind of plastic heads going on.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then the bodies are like super soft on them. They're all squishy.
We would have sent you the link on when we did the Simpsons breakdown. We did a Simpsons episode a couple weeks ago. You should have brought that shit to the table. Look at that stuff. Very cool.
It's like I said, it's about the same age as me. So they're coming up on like 33 or something like that.
Nice.
They're doing good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
They were originally from Burger King.
No way.
Burger King?
Yeah.
No way.
They were Burger King
lead-based plastic. What a husband I have there. Yeah. There you go.
They're from
mad as a hatter.
Good. Wow. I already am. You can't really mess with this. So.
Very cool, Ash. Thanks for bringing that to the table. If you want to bring anything else,
I love the Simpsons.
The only other thing that I have is kind of it's just very me, and it looks vintage, but it's not necessarily vintage.
On the
Dr. Pepper. That's rad. Look at that. Dr. Pepper lunchbox. What's inside?
I was going to say, what's inside?
Does it have the thermos inside?
Probably something weird from work in there, if I'm totally honest with you.
Oh, do you take it to work?
It's a big bag of...
something legal.
It's just actually... Pretty entertaining. What's going
There's
on
a
here?
weird snowflake hole punch in there.
There you go.
Okay.
That's kind of cool. I have notes for grumps. You fill in the blanks.
This is totally not going the way I thought it would.
No. This is just like weird stuff from my desk. I don't even know what to do with it here. I have safety goggles with my name on them.
You need
They're
that.
very
That's great.
stylish, actually.
That's what's missing from my office.
You have to have a decent time with COVID. Like, I had to make it cool. So I got some fashionable safety glasses, and I have a collection of really weird music that I play for the residents at the long-term care facilities that I work at. Yeah.
You got Pantera and Slayer in there for them?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No. There's an album here called Old Chestnuts, and we're not going to talk about that. So that's what's in the Dr. Pepper lunchbox and my Simpsons family.
It's a CD about Ryan's balls. All right. Moving on.
Oh,
Love it.
Ash, whatever else you want to bring to the table, no problem. Okay, Gary, you were first in. Juan, you okay to hang for a second? Gary was first
I'm
in.
good.
I want to show a
hang
little
out for a
thing.
bit.
So we were talking a little bit about this CD here. So Chris was talking about the Variant comic that he made. Chris, you want to hold that up again? Chris has the
There it is. Variant copy number 1.
The Skeletron Variant. That's the first issue. That's the first copy. And
Sold out in a month.
And then he did some stuff for Gary, and that's Gary's record there, which is pretty rad.
I just colored that. I didn't do the drawing. Gary, who drew that?
John Austin.
There you go. Excellent artist. I did the coloring on it. It was black and white ink, just like us comic book artists do, and I did the coloring on that one, which was an honor to do. It was great. It's really cool.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. And the funny part is like I always like overthink everything when it comes to the band stuff. So I like, trying to. So when I talked to John about drawing something, he's like, "Oh, what do you got for ideas?" And I was just swamped with like work and the band and writing and all that. And I just said, "I don't know. I'll get back to you." And then I didn't talk to him for about 2 weeks. And I'm like, and then he gets a hold of me. He goes, "If you don't give me an idea, I'm going to end up drawing like a Care Bear on the cover." And then I just went, "Oh, well, that's what you're doing then." So I just said, I gave him an idea, and then he just ran with it. And then I got the original thing. There's a couple questionable things in there that would have brought down the house for me. So then he just did a couple tweaks, and then I talked to you, Chris, and then you so gracefully said, "Yeah, you'd love to do it." So happy that you did it. It looks awesome. John was so stoked when he saw the.
It's such a great scene. It's such a great sounding record too. So kudos, Gary. Welcome to it, my man. Thanks for putting out another rad record.
Where can people buy that? Where can people find the music, my friend?
As of right now, you can get it digitally on Sing, which is the Lennon Entertainment Group. That's that whole thing that Rain Maida and a bunch of people put together. So you can buy it digitally, and it's like an NFT thing. But bottom line is, when you buy it, it's yours. Apple Music can't wipe it out off your playlist.
I bought it. It's really cool. You get a bunch of cool shit. The vinyl is coming out in, I think we're coming February. It should be out. So all the printing's done. So Chris, you obviously have a couple copies coming your way.
Yay! I was almost going to say, so where can people buy your record, Gary? And eventually they will be able to, which is awesome.
You know what? Hey Juan, I want you to start doing record cover reviews.
Okay.
Because because every other product you review, I'm just like, even if I'm a fan, I'm like, I'm just gonna buy it because of the soothing, silky sounds of Juan. And he'd be like, this is the new Elephant record. Yeah, it'd be great. I think you should start reviewing.
The podcast this morning, it was all about Christmas music and finding like the most esoteric versions of classic holiday standards. So it was a lot of that. It was like, oh hey, let's listen to the Darkness Christmas album and go through the whole playlist. So yeah, maybe I just need to get back into like album artwork. I think that would be a really fun thing to hang on.
Let's go.
I can't see what it is.
It is. Oh, let's go. Can you see? Let me just. Where's the camera? There's the camera.
Oh, Hopes for the Holidays. Who's that?
Yeah,
Bob Hope.
Bob Hope.
I don't even. I used to mail away for stupid stuff all the time because like I had no money, so I just mail away for things that were free. Anyway, so this is from the Bob Hope fan club. And every Christmas they would put these out, and this is called Hopes for the Holidays. He and his wife would record these, terrible, terrible versions of Christmas songs. I've never played it.
Wow.
But, I never will play it. Actually, I'm just reading the song. But it's just one of those like badge of honor cassettes I own. It's like, when is it?
I just feel like that needs to be played. It needs to be
It
experienced.
needs to be shared.
It does.
Well, you can
it
always-
needs to be like
I'm not sure it does.
Yeah.
Hey, look who
Is
joined
it
us.
wrapped in plastic? It should stay wrapped in the plastic if that's
No,
what
it's
you're
not.
saying.
It came in its own little card. It comes in its own cardboard sleeve.
Well, don't even take it out of the sleeve.
yeah,
See, no, just leave it right
Gary,
in there.
I think you could have got
just showing
that
that
at
on
the bio.
camera. The value of that plummeted. Like
Absolutely.
80%.
This is just put it away.
Plummets.
You got that at the.
See it
You
on
got that at
Facebook
the.
Marketplace tomorrow. Hey, look,
You
it's
can play
Mike.
this for
Hi,
the old
Mike.
people.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Mike, what's going on, buddy?
What's
That's Mike. We got
happening,
two voice. Okay, guys, we got two voiceover guys on here now. We got to like
East Coast, West
no.
Coast. Is that what it is?
We got a bit
Now,
of
do we dance off now? What is the rule? I'm out of the
It's like
loop.
Star Lord and.
Welcome, Mike. We're running through it as it came from the basement as per. We got a few more invites out there, but this is a hell of a roundtable going on right now. Gary, you were going to bring some stuff to the table here. The Bob Hope thing was basically enough. That was pretty rad and hard to be topped. But let's see what you got, man.
And it was just so random because it wasn't actually what I was bringing. Because it's just much like everybody else that has commented about this. I have a basement full of shit. I get rid of stuff, but I just have this like, I don't know, bizarre love affair for picking up stuff that I don't need, but it's just too rad. Like you can see behind me over my shoulder, there's like a Jim Henson Funko Pop. I don't need it. There are boxes upon boxes of signature Vans. Every time they release something,
I'll take those.
Every time they release something cool, I just have to be an idiot and buy them. I missed the Motorhead ones. I didn't know they released them, so I was kind of bummed. But anyways, I'll survive. Yeah, you kind of got me off guard with this, Brent, when you said like, oh, it can be anything, because like I have like tons of game worn jerseys. They're all packed away, just because I kind of had to get stuff out, and a lot of my toys are packed away. But I did happen to find these that you might find interesting. You said hockey, so that's what I went with.
Sure. Look at those CCMs. Those are Canuck CCM. What is that from?
These are Henrik Sedin's gloves.
Oh my God! Really?
Oh, there we go.
See
That's pretty impressive.
See the 22?
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. So these
For
are
the
from
for the Leaf fans on the thing, myself included, Henrik is a hockey player in the west coast of Canada. That's in the
Dude,
Hall
I'd be
of
wearing
Fame.
I'd be wearing those to the beer league and like siphoning the power from those. Like, yeah.
Okay, so that's the funny thing about them is my brother got them for me because my brother still lives out in BC, and he went to the year-end sale, and he saw them and he bought them, and nobody picked up on them. And I think at the time the Sedins were being kind of looked at as flops, possibly because they weren't really doing what they thought they would do. Anywho, long story short, he buys them, sends them to me for Christmas. And I'm like a kid, like all excited because my brother always sends me some pretty rad things. Usually stuff like that Bob Hope cassette. Like I have the worst vinyl collection because my brother sends me stuff like David Hasselhoff's Night Rocker or Jack Lemmon. Anything that's just bizarre because he just thinks it's funny to us. So anyways.
It is kind of funny. It is kind of funny.
So the worst part is, so I opened this case up Christmas morning, and as soon as you opened it, gag worthy. Like I had to take I had to take the box outside and put it in the garage of my parents' house because to this day I've had these gloves. God, it's probably been 15 years.
Wow.
They still smell.
You can't get hockey smell out.
Oh
No.
yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of life in those gloves.
Yeah,
for sure.
and this is before like
A lot of funk.
players would wear like 4 pairs of gloves a game, right? And they just like these are so like there's holes everywhere and repairs. They didn't just give them new gloves, like they just kept wearing them. So for the longest time, people would come down to the basement, and I used to have this big hockey display and all my guitars, and they'd always go, "Oh, cool gloves," and I'd say, "Yeah, they're Henrik Sedin's," and they'd be like, "Rad," and they would put them on, and before I could say "don't," they would be
They're
on.
like,
I'm gonna go wash my hands.
You can't wash the stink off your hands for like
That's
3
funny.
days. It is
going
so,
up to everybody after. Smell my finger. Know what that is? No.
Henrik Sedin's.
Wow.
Oh, man. Yeah. So that's my show and tell piece. It's kind of like my one piece. That's everything else is just I'm in like work mayhem right now, so I'm trying to get all the work done before Christmas so that I can go on vacation.
Those gloves, they covered the wrist too, didn't they? Those gloves.
Yeah, these have a medium cuff. I have.
That's cool. I like that.
You should put them on to demonstrate that.
Yeah.
Oh, you kids! No, I'm not gonna do that.
All right.
Come on.
I was hoping I
Gary.
could totally get.
It's just a suggestion.
I mean, Ashley doesn't ask for much on this show.
No, I'm a
Gary.
nice lady.
You put it on and see if it covers the wrist.
Yeah.
You didn't even get me anything for Christmas. This is like the least you could do.
That's right.
Is this good enough?
Oh, wait.
Guy I've never met.
My hand's not going in.
Oh.
Yeah, it is so brutal. But yeah, so
Those are cool.
Awesome
Yeah,
stuff, buddy.
yeah, and the funny part was is it's like the under my staircase thing, the crawl space is just Toy Story. Yeah.
Ryan Lindley, who's watching, had just who's Ashley's significant other. It says that he's glad it wasn't called. It came from the crawl space, but you're saying you got yours from the crawl space with a significant amount of other things. But yeah, it's those are pretty cool, man. Hank's a big hero out here. So
Yeah,
he's,
of course.
They'd be worth
the
a shit.
main
ton
part
money
of
out
the collection was Cliff Ronning, right? So I had like every jersey. I had every jersey of Cliff's from New Westminster. I had his home and away Bruins, and then I had every jersey of every team he played for, like home, away, and alternate, plus his Team Canada. Like I just went bonkers with it for years. Now I'm out.
Did you get any pictures of him scrapping with Jeff Brown in a bar after he banged his wife? Or?
Oh no!
Whoa!
Wow!
All right, all of a
Cliff
sudden,
Ronning.
new show.
Cliff Ronning.
And
welcome to the new show.
It's a little spicy. I like it.
This isn't the new format we discussed.
That's right. We just dropped it in there. But anyways, Gary, all right. Outside of having a killer album and all the rest of it that's out there, Elephant sounds amazing. Mixed and mastered by Harry, and it sounds awesome. Really cool record. Buy it on Sing. I did it. The package is really cool. What else is going on?
Shows. What's going on? We're playing the Ganny. First time for me in Port Hope, which is kind of cool. It just sold out, so that's kind of rad for us. So just today was the
for reference. Port Hope is where they filmed Stranger Things.
Oh, lovely.
And the new It's. They did that.
Yeah, the new It.
So,
partially in Port Hope and partially in Oshawa.
Yeah, man.
The mighty Schwa. Yeah, exactly. And then
it's pretty horrific there.
Yeah,
it is. It fit in so nicely, that house. It was like, look at this new house in Oshawa. What's it? Yeah, that's the It house.
Oh, so if I go there, is it like actually frozen in time in like the 1980s? Is that?
Yeah,
it's just been sort of
parts
preserved?
of it. Yeah, it just kind of feels like it when you're there.
Yeah, no money's been put in since the 80s in some of the areas in there. That's true.
Yeah, so we're pretty stoked to be going there. And then we just got the opening slot for one of the Wilhelm Scream shows in.
I saw that. That's great. They're coming here to Kingston as well. Be really nice with them and see if you can jump on the Kingston show too.
You know what? It's funny because they've already got like everybody kind of booked through. So it's like as soon as I got our announcement that we were on, I was like stoked, and then I posted it, and then all of a sudden it's like you've been tagged, and then it's like the way through, and it's like I can see where everybody's playing and which friend bands are playing and opening for them. So it's kind of rad. So,
but the great thing about you playing in Kingston with the Wilhelm Scream is Chris literally can leave his house, go around the corner, watch you, and go home.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't have to go to the Schwa, doesn't have to go to Toronto. It's good.
No, we
were talking a new venue called the Broom Factory. Called the Broom Factory here in Kingston. It's that's where they're playing. Wilhelm Scream's gonna be playing, and it's awesome, and it's really good for the artists. Like it's set up for the artists, man. The way everything from the way they're being paid to the way they're being treated, because a lot of it's being funded through the city. So we're really doing some kick-ass stuff here for the musical community in Kingston, buddy. It's really we're doing the opposite of what like Ticketmaster and what
easy.
We're doing the opposite.
Easy. I didn't do that.
Well, geez, I get on this podcast. You guys are just talking about politics and stuff.
No, yeah.
Ticketmaster.
But it's a positive thing because we're doing like the opposite, where we're making sure that the ticket price is really low and the artist is taken care of. So just to Gary, so you know, buddy, that when you talk to other people when they come to the Broom Factory, they'll be like, that place was rad, man. Kingston's music scene rules.
Well, I was actually just informed today that they're working on getting us on 3-day shows, and it's going basically Kingston, Montreal, possibly Oshawa.
Oh, great! Well, dude, I'll give you some Kingston hospitality.
Awesome.
Dude, those markets are
I'm
amazing.
sure we'll be cranky as fuck, so it'll be awesome.
All right, Gary.
Cool.
Thanks for coming on, man, and all the best for the new year. And
Thanks for having me.
you know, hopefully we'll see you on the new show down the road. But
Yeah, buddy.
rock and roll.
Yeah.
Have a great
Mike,
holiday,
good
brother.
seeing you again.
Okay, man.
Buddy.
Take care.
See you guys.
Gary Bagner with a killer band, as always. Back on the show. You guys should check out his band. It's really cool.
London.
Straight up punk rock.
London, Ontario, Gary is.
Some punk rock madness. Okay. Juan. Our buddy Juan. All right, man.
What's up, guys?
What do you got? What do you got for It Came from the Basement? I want to. Yeah, this is rad. Let's go.
So I wanted to stick with the theme because like the last couple times we've done these sort of exchanges and stuff, I've had like a running theme of like Transformers. Like there are a bunch of Transformers on the shelves behind me, but you guys have also been so kind and like kind of promoting the gadgetiness of all my YouTube coverage and stuff that I'm actually bringing something super brand new that showed up from a company and was a total surprise. Optimus Prime is my spirit animal. Legitimately, I would not be where I am today if it hadn't been for like not only Transformers cartoons, but Peter Cullen, the voice actor Peter Cullen who voices Optimus Prime, and hearing his voice in other shows clued me in as a little kid, like, oh, that's a job. That's not really a talking car or talking truck. That can be your job, is to be the voice of a car or a truck. And literally, I wouldn't be here today if it hadn't been for that kind of realization. So a PR company reached out to me a while ago saying, hey, we represent this company and we're coming out with this product. And I just like word vomit in an email. Oh, you're talking Transformers and Optimus Prime. Well, let me tell you my entire life history of Optimus Prime. And then I never heard back from that PR agency ever again. Like they just totally ghosted me after
super
that.
nerd. Let's just step back.
Exactly. Like Coyote Ugly. Let's gnaw our arm off and get away from this guy. So just out of the blue, this box shows up on my doorstep, and I've been that nerd who you get something really kind of unexpected and really cool, and it strikes just the right note, and you try to work it into conversations where it's not appropriate to work into those conversations, and I'm becoming that guy about this thing. So I'm going to try and switch. I apologize if this totally borks my feed here, but I'm going to just cut to this, and here to the side, you can see this semi here is sort of in the shape and color of an Optimus Prime.
Greetings, friend.
And I'm just going to let him start up.
Oh, I think yeah.
Oh, see, that's cool.
And I was taking him out of the box, and I was reading through the instructions, and if you say his name, he starts responding to you. I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't know he was that level of voice activated. Hey, Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
Transform.
What?
Come on.
That's incredible.
That's cool.
Is blowing my mind. This is the elite Optimus Prime from Robosen. Decepticons.
Autobots, engage the enemy.
Damn.
Optimus Prime. Hey, Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
Attack.
Prepare for battle.
And he starts throwing hands.
Jeez, he looks like me when I fight.
Me too. Only way faster.
Wow, that was
Look at Chris's face.
This has
It's amazing.
blown me away. This is like the realization of every little kid fantasy I had when I was a total nut for Transformers. Like, I still have my G1 Optimus Prime, and you can try and see, like, side by side. If I could go back in time and tell, 8-year-old Juan that this would eventually be something that he plays with, I'm literally speechless every single time I fire him up and I start playing with him. So over the holidays, my daughter and I were going to dig into all of the little like programming and apps, because you can actually customize your own voice commands. You can make them dance. You can control every single individual little servo that is in the robot and pre-program it to do other stuff. It's
nuts.
It's incredible technology, and it is a ridiculously expensive toy, but like I've never seen anything.
Look at it
realized
flexing.
Like
Look at it, it's just
oh,
standing there flexing.
It's breathing.
Alive and moves and stuff.
Wow.
What is the price tag on it, buddy? I gotta know, buddy. What's the price tag?
So they just came out with the newer version. The flagship Optimus Prime is $1,000.
That's nothing. That's all right. That's all right.
So this is the Elite Optimus Prime, and he's responding to his name every single time. This is the Elite version. This is normally $700. It's on sale for $600. It's $100 off. But the only difference is the flagship is a little bit taller and has a bigger battery. All of the servos, all of the little robotic bits are exactly the same. But the flagship, you can also buy a robotic trailer that hitches to his feet, and he can drive around with the trailer, and the trailer unfolds like the original toy. The trailer doesn't work with the Elite; it only works with the flagship. But for me, this is mind-blowing on its own. This has rocked my socks, and I've just been trying like desperately.
I can't
hey guys,
believe
so you know
he's
what?
moving. I can't believe he's moving just while you're standing there. That's the coolest
it's great.
thing.
Hold on. What's like another good one? Hey Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
Are you my friend?
You are my friend.
Wow.
That's just so
so cute.
Oh my god. It's not only your spirit animal. You could actually take it on a plane, and people are like, "What's going on?" And it's just my therapy robot.
This is like a ton of mushrooms
my
and just
friend.
hang out with him.
He is. I just asked him, and he is. He's my friend.
Yeah, he's your friend.
He said so.
He said it. Yeah, exactly.
This is the modern day version of My Buddy. Do you remember the My Buddy doll?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Like,
when I was a little kid, and we had
This is way
what was
cooler.
Teddy Ruxpin. If you can remember, like
Tape
those,
in 'em.
we had all of these like proto robot toys that were super rudimentary, and then to get something like this today, where it legitimately is like a Honda Asimo level robot that can also transform, and the wheels have motors, so he can drive. I can't drive him on this because it's too short. He'll just fling himself off this little desk. Wow. But everything is articulated for it to be a toy in both forms, in robot form and in semi form. It's insane where we're at. I'm
nuts,
stoked.
man. That's like the coolest reveal ever, by the way. And are you allowed to, by the way,
prototypes of the old days? You know, the this is what used to run the old school.
Oh my God, you have Alf.
So it's Alf. He doesn't talk anymore, though. The cassette, I've tried to fix the cassette inside it. But we still do actually have the cassette that came with this, the Storytime Alf.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
The precursor to the Optimus kick-ass toys.
That's so cool, buddy.
did you see the thing that's going on? Well, I'll leave it. Anyways, that's awesome with the Alpha and the...
Now, Juan, do you know? Sorry, I was Brent. Juan, do you know who actually did the voice? Was that Peter Cullen, or did they get somebody like John Bailey, who I know has?
No. These are all sampled. I don't know that any of them are originally recorded. I think they're mostly sampled from previous projects that they were able to kind of get licensing on. But it is Peter Cullen.
I'd be curious if they would have generated some sort of like an AI, because now you can do sort of voice prints of people.
Oh, fair. You know what? There are a few. Like he's got like a hold on. I can play this one. Hey, Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
Happy birthday.
You are my friend.
Oh. They already did that one. Hey, Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
Happy birthday.
Greetings from Cybertron. I am Optimus Prime. I am granting you permission to have the greatest birthday the universe has ever seen.
Yeah, that is definitely Peter Cullen.
Yeah, that is very much Peter Cullen.
That's amazing.
Wow, that is so cool. That is
now
so
I
cool.
just got to show, and hopefully like I said, I won't throw them off the table. But
don't break it.
See, I've got like a list of some of his voice commands here. I can't remember.
Can you roll them out? Roll out? Does he do that?
He does respond to that, but he drives so far.
Oh,
I can't,
yeah,
I can't
don't do
catch
that.
him. Yeah, so that would be bad. I actually made that mistake when I was unboxing him, because like, how far could he go? Hey, Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
Move forward. Oh, you're not doing that's you've already told us about your friendship. Hey, Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
Move forward.
Let's go.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Wow.
That is so cool.
It is. It's like Honda Asimo level detail and articulation.
Unbelievable.
I can't believe it. I can't believe this is like a real thing.
I know.
Yeah, that's a thing you have.
By.
In your lifetime, you have seen it. Yes. Wow.
I would never give that to a kid. Like that's not a toy.
Oh, so absolutely not. This is so the company has a whole bunch of other like nondescript, transforming robot things. This is like their major licensed agreement. I think they also have a Buzz Lightyear, but that's not a transforming robot.
Right.
Obviously, they're going to try and make an argument about STEAM and STEM and programming and things like that. I'm actually kind of interested to see. My daughter's 7. And she's already been playing with all the voice commands and stuff with me next to her. So she's, she's interested in what this robot can do. The programming side is either ridiculously simple, like it kind of just mirrors what you can already do in the voice commands, or it's per servo complex. And I don't know that there's anything in the middle. So, it's not a toy. It is like this sophisticated robotic collectible.
Exactly.
Wow.
But I'm kind of curious to see, like, if I can get this thing to floss, if that inspires my daughter
there you
to
go.
like consider trying like some of the more advanced robotics and programming side of it. Like there's potential there. But obviously we don't want to misrepresent like, yeah, give it to your kid and watch him drive it into a swimming pool.
That's kind of it. I picture a kid like playing with it, and it's like, no, set it down and talk to it. Like,
watch it go down the stairs.
Kids don't do that well without supervision.
Was there a movie?
So Chris, that was one of the first things my daughter said was, "Do you think he could drive down the stairs?" And you're like, "No, go to your room.
Don't even look at it."
There you go. Ryan gives you the
Optimus Prime privileges.
Ryan says it's next level dad mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Optimus, do the Gangnam Style. See, I would love to see you train it to do moves. Yeah. Do the Napoleon Dynamite dance.
Wow.
So I saw someone doing like real basic, overly simplistic yoga, and his ability to even kind of balance on one foot with the proper counterweight. If you measure out the servo movements, he can kind of do some of that. So I really want to see if I can find like some good dance styles. Like I'm old, so I just think it would make me so happy if I could get the Macarena going. Why not?
And I think actually
the Thriller dance going on him.
Hey, Juan, we're going to challenge you for when the new show comes. The next time we have you on, not only that, thanks
Dancing
for breaking,
Optimus.
No, dancing, but I want the whole dance scene from The Breakfast Club.
God. Man, doing that little skank hop that like Molly Ringwald does might be kind of tough, but I'm game. I'm game. We can work on that.
Awesome.
Amazing, dude.
I love it.
I appreciate you coming by and spending some time with us again.
That's cool.
That was really cool.
And dropping a toy on us. Like, what the hell? Is that
so
like
cool.
can we actually clip that and send it, or is it not out yet?
Oh, no. So the Elite has been out for a little while. They sent out a press release earlier in the year for the flagship. And like I said, I got no other communication from the PR company, but they shipped one of these to my door, and I think they were just kind of impressed with how furious my Optimus Prime fandom was. Hey, what's up? So yeah, they're both are currently out, and they have a couple other, like I said, they have a couple other robots that you can check out too, like Buzz Lightyear, and like it's a little Doom Buggy Transformer thing, but it's not an actual licensed Transformer. It's not one of the popular names, but they have 2 versions of Optimus, and if you're a nut like I am, man, I can't think of an actual better collectible for a dude my age. Like this is like the rush of childhood, the magic, the discovery, like all of it hit me in this
truly a magical toy. Like that is
it really hit me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I was just reading an article today that's talking about how the toy industry is seeing sort of a renaissance now because of people like us that are now collecting and buying toys almost more than sort of the younger
I
generation.
would wager
on
the
that.
guy in the middle window is keeping
Yeah,
most
I'm
of the
sure.
toy business alive.
I have my bookshelves, and I'm just like
There's
covered
there's
in
Juan
stuff
between Juan and
too,
Chris.
but-
Between Juan and
Yeah,
Chris,
some toys.
that you guys are keeping the toy industry alive. Yeah.
See,
not single, double-handedly. The two of us.
See, Juan brings all the new tech, and I thought, to be kind, I dug into old tech, and I found my first ever cell phone. That it's
I
a
had one of those at
it's a
Durham College.
Mitsubishi. I think this is like 91-ish, maybe 90-ish.
Look at that
It wasn't
brick.
quite the Zach Morris phone yet, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think this works anymore. But I thought, well, Juan's gonna be on the show. He's always breaking, like the latest Google Pixel phones. I'm busting out the old Mitsubishi,
Classic.
Still rocking the S22, buddy. Still rocking the S22.
Hey, at least it's not a
Killing.
BlackBerry.
Yeah, who knows?
Aw,
What about
poor
this?
BlackBerry.
What about this one then? Anybody here? I don't know if they had these down in America. But what about this?
Oh, the Gerald, yes. Oh my God, I remember that thing.
This is how we got
Yeah,
cable.
the original
This is how we got
remote.
cable between 1982 and 1989, I think, roughly 88. Yep,
Yeah, see,
this is
these came after the push boxes that we used to have. Like when
Oh yeah.
in Canada, the first pay-per-view or whatever it was called First Choice.
Yeah, first choice in Super Channel.
Yeah, and you had the box where you would push the buttons to change the different channels, and there was a rocker
Wow.
switch to do the top level of channels. So, and that was
I remember
the following.
we had a cable box, but I don't believe it had buttons on it, and I don't think it was that like kind of retro futuristic wood panel, but also
Yeah, that's like early
at the same
'80s. I'm
time.
thinking, right, Mike? Like that's
Yeah.
early '80s.
Oh yeah,
huh?
that's early '80s,
I
and I mean
remember
those
I remember
those
that.
Geralds. They mimicked. I think everybody had one of those alarm clocks back in the
Yeah.
day.
still have one
The
upstairs.
wood
Still-
grain, yeah.
No, I got it. I should have brought
Yep.
it down. I have
That
it.
was my first alarm clock. That's what
Still
I
on.
thought you were showing us first. Was why?
No,
Yeah, I thought
I
that
got it
was-
upstairs
yeah.
though. Okay, so do you guys have some time? Because Chris is going to have some really cool stuff. Mike, you're bringing Alf and the phone. Did you have anything else you're going to bring to the mixer?
Well, I went kind of like Juan. I wanted to keep similar to some of the themes. I too, much like Gary, have a basement that we've been kind of going through and clearing out a lot of stuff because there's a lot of garbage, getting rid of toys that the kids will never play and bits and pieces. So, but I did come across some wonderful board games to keep my, if y'all remember this wonderful,
Wow, look at that.
the
Look at that, dude. I had that. That
the
was
Wrestling
awesome.
Superstars game, worst
Wow.
board game ever. It had no real wrestling. Like all it was, you had like the cool characters. I think I still have most of it is in actual. Oh yeah, it used to come with like the little, the cardboard versions
Oh,
of these.
yeah.
The
Nikolai
stands,
Volkov.
obviously the stands I've lost over the years.
Who you got? Hillbilly Jim. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the Hot Rod, the Hot Scott,
Nice.
Roddy Piper. So this was, I remember getting this, and it was absolutely lame. But I was a huge wrestling nerd. Years later, though, they tried again during I think this would have been the late '80s, maybe early '90s, when the VCR game.
Oh wow.
Oh, I remember that one.
remember
too.
those, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Where
like
you-
$50. That was like
Yeah.
$50.
I got this at a yard sale, and the tape is still in here. Wow. I dare not try and play it because I'm sure the actual tape is a mess. But this was actually kind of cool because you would have to there was another game in the 90s. I think it was called Nightmares or Nightmare. With the gatekeeper, yes, my gatekeeper, and you would have to fast forward and rewind the tape to wherever you were in the game, and that would sort of move the game along. So, yeah, so that keeping the wrestling theme, Chris, your posts about your standalone video game, your tabletop video game, inspired me to dig out classic console. My first console. This is actually the second version of my first console.
Coleco?
No, this was the Intellivision.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had the original Intellivision, which was a little more gold and a little more brown. This was the System 3 that came later on, which I think I picked this up at a, I think like a thrift store or something years later. But I still had the plethora of probably the most wondrous things ever, the cartridges.
I love those.
Which,
yeah,
a lot of that. And it's just amazing. I think I still have the text to speech synthesizer module that you would plug into the cartridge port, so you could play games like Bomb Squad and B-17 Bomber with sort of synthetic voice, like synthesized voice, which was mind-blowing back then. So that was the console stuff. And then because, this is a good Canadian show, and I had a ton of books. Oh, sorry. My first computer programming book ever.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Compute Magazine, which I read religiously as a kid. They put this out, and I had a VIC-20. That was my first computer.
Yeah, the
VIC-20 computer.
Chris, I remember going to Rob McEachran's place and we'd play the VIC-20.
Right.
It was
just old friend.
Mind-boggling. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brett.
No, and I've got an idea for Juan for April Fool's this year. I think what you should do, Juan, Mike, I think you should take that console and all of those games, ship them to Juan. Juan talks about the best brand new video game that's coming out. Yeah. That's breaking news, and I want you to do a full review of that on April Fool's Day.
What's frightening is you think about now how you can buy those all-in-one. They made them. They're sort of the handheld games with the Intellivision and all that in one small little box. And this used to be like,
I've got all the emulators for like classic arcade, Nintendo, Atari. I actually don't have Intellivision, which
Intellivision was a tough one to emulate because it was all about the keypad and the dial, right? So, which I've taken apart other Intellivision controllers and it's all these weird thin overlays and a lot of it's amazing how this thing actually
membrane buttons that you can't really simulate well. But I've got all of those other classic ROMs, and they take up like tens of megabytes of space on a memory card in my Steam Deck. And you're like, this is ridiculous. Unbelievable. Like the entire Nintendo catalog is like 50 meg.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's stupid.
The loading time's great on those games too.
So and last, because like I said, very very Canadiana, found a lot of books. And back in the days before you had the internet, and I think this was even before the, what was his name? Scott something. He used to do the adventure games. They were like PC adventure games. There was Adventureland. There was The Count. I had them on the VIC-20. There was the Which Way books.
Oh yeah, those are great. Choose your own adventure kind of thing.
Choose your own adventure, yeah.
Which was huge. Early 80s. These were the books when we had the Scholastic book fairs. If you're Canadian, you remember those.
Mm-hmm.
These would be like every month they would have new ones of these.
They were the best.
Ridiculous. And if you can't say Canadiana books, probably my favorite author as a young man, the Gordon Corman series of books.
Oh my God.
Beware the Fish, Bugs Potter live at Nickaninny, which was Bugs Potter was a drummer. Go Jump in the Pool. I think it's Go Jump. Yeah, Go Jump in the Pool. This was the first and only, I think, novel that I had read as a kid that mentioned the town I grew up in, Stouffville. They go on a fundraising thing to raise money for the pool, and they wind up in beautiful downtown Stouffville to find pop cans. And I thought this was the coolest shit ever because, oh my God, he's writing about my hometown. So these smell so basementy. Like
that old comic book smell, moldy, but it's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Gary just sent me a text saying he put the gloves on for 8 seconds and his whole house is ruined.
Oh, that's you don't do that.
That was my Christmas gift, though. I'm happy.
Yeah. So it was an excellent deep dive into the basement, cleaning up and finding a lot of these old things. And the Intellivision still does work. And I've got one of they've made cables for everything now. that you can actually like plug it into a big TV. So nothing like playing Astro Smash on a 75-inch TV. Like that
would be really cool.
There's
retro gaming.
I can't
Ashley,
remember
you should try to
who's
find
making
some
it.
more stuff. Ashley, I'm sure you
There's
got
a
more stuff there.
4x3 monitor that's out. I think they just wrapped up an
really?
Indiegogo campaign today. But on the back has every single old school component,
See, that's so smart.
prong, every type of video input. It is being sold.
Ooh.
It's an actual LCD panel. It's not CRT, so you don't get quite that authentic.
Yeah.
Old school image.
But I'd be
vibe,
curious
but-
if they've got some sort of built-in scan line, sort of an.
Well, I'm sure you
emulation.
could probably also filter depending on what
Yeah.
you're playing with. But the whole point is, if you've got a bunch of this retro gear, it will legitimately support any video input standard that's ever
That's
been
awesome.
used on a mass market.
I miss
console.
those
If I
little
can
boxes
remember-
though. The little boxes that.
Oh yeah.
The converter box where if you wanted to
TV?
to
Yeah,
game
yeah.
or channel 3-4, you know,
It had like the two prongs, and you had
Win
like a
Ter- it's,
slider
you either
switch.
watch you're either
So
watching
good.
Yar's Revenge or Winterio.
Oh, good.
Ashley's
deep
got
dive.
something. Ashley is bringing something to the table, and then Chris has got his collection. I got 3 items, but here we go, Ash. What do you got?
Ryan actually came and threw this at me while I was sitting here, and it was kind of terrifying. I'm not sure if he's. Yeah, he did. And it's slightly embarrassing, but this is my Game Boy
Nice.
from
Nice.
Lake Archive.
Oh wow.
And yeah, it's got like the star stickers on it, and apparently I covered it in like electrical tape. And
Oh.
I don't know why. I really
That's the
wanted
original.
this cord
That's the
to
original.
stay in here apparently. So, yeah. Thank goodness there's no
What-
batteries in there rotting away.
What were you playing though? What was? Oh, is there no cartridge?
It was Pokemon. It was
Oh,
Pokemon
that's
Yellow,
perfect.
to be specific.
That game's probably worth a lot of money now if it was one of the originals.
It's somewhere
Yeah.
in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Ryan,
should
it's
get
a
Ryan
Game
up.
Boy Pocket. There was no color to the screen. It was one of those things where if you tried to like play it on a drive, you were like up against the car window and like praying for a light. And it was those were the days.
But they had a very
You
good.
had those
Super
those
Mario.
clip-on like light with magnifying screens that never worked.
Awful.
I have that,
Awful.
buddy. I've got that whole box set of the Game Boy, the original one. It opens up and it's got the magnifying glass and all that stuff, dude. It's downstairs. It's in my basement. I didn't bring that up, but yeah.
Well, I want to see it next year.
Let me go.
Yeah,
Let me go.
I brought up a huge bin of stuff though.
I got a couple of things. Let me go. We're not going too retro. We're going to go 2005 for a second.
Okay.
2005, probably the best year for the NHL. And I've got an unopened box of the rookie class
Oh,
right here.
Oh.
So we got Ovechkin in there. We got Crosby in there. We got a bunch of others unopened sitting there. Just had it assessed at a card show last week, and all right.
All right.
There's that. And then, given that this is the last show, at least this version of Kids on the Escalator, I got to go back to one of the first Christmas gifts that Chris ever gave me in the house of Machete when we were back in the thing. Chris was like, I'm going to start this collection. It's going to take you 30 years, but here we go. So, Justice League. In the box.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
these ones here. This was a new series that came out, and if you look at sort of on the back of it, Wonder Woman was impossible to get. By the way, you could only get these 4 to start, and then they did a new series with like Wonder Woman and Hawk and all these stuff. It was very, very cool. So
That's awesome.
these were like the first couple of incarnations of these new Justice League toys. You can see them now at some of the Kevin Smith's favorite store out here, Toy Traders, has got them all retroed, Chris, and you can buy the
That's
complete
awesome.
set, and the complete set's like 10 G's. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
wow.
I'm missing a couple, but anyways, I just thought, given that it is Christmas, and Chris was like, hey, our first Machete Christmas in our band, and we would get together. He's like, I'm going to get you one of these every year.
There you go.
That we're a band, and we were only a band for a little while longer. but he kept
a few more
but he
years.
but he kept sending them out, which was great. And then, of course, come on.
Oh yeah, I've got that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
That was the Canadian version of Fleetwood Mac's Rumors.
Nice.
That's right.
Everybody
Good
had a
well.
copy of that.
You got a beer with it when you got. You guys got a few more. We got some more time because Chris's collection is gonna, outside
just
of a
quickly, so-
walking Optimus Prime is pretty rad.
Oh yeah, I can't top that. So my stuff's all retro. I literally went down to the basement and grabbed a box or a bin. Excuse me. So sidebar to this, just before COVID hit, the huge library downtown here in Kingston hired me to teach to a seniors class, but it wasn't to pay me. They were going to let me have basically run of the library of something I wanted, right? Like a room I could teach out of, and or the 3D printer. So I was going to have free run of this 3D printer. I don't know how much I could have used of it, but so anyway, I have all these toys from back. Like this is the original Millennium Falcon from back in the day, right? So I was going to 3D print off the pieces that I needed instead of trying to buy them because there's so much money, right? But this, when I got this when I was a kid, man, see, it's missing everything on the inside, unfortunately. But if I can get the pieces for it. When I got this gift when I was a kid, man, this was unreal. Like this was just, that was a huge gift.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Keep it going, like that's just the tip of the iceberg. So I've got the original snow speeder here as well. Man. I've got the thing.
The transport.
The transporter, and it would talk. Again, it's missing just some pieces.
Which was a toy that nobody could understand why it was released because you only see it for a quick, brief second in Star Wars on Yavin. Yeah.
And I got this here, and this still works in the front there. All I need for this is the screen. So that was going to be the first thing I was going to do is I was going to 3D print the screen for this. Even the wheels work and disengage on the bottom kind of thing. And then right that I've got. I need the strap thing.
Not the Rancor. Those were the dewbacks.
Yep, got the dewback.
Man, I am super
of course,
nerd.
I've got the original X-wing.
Sweet.
The original X-wing. I've got.
Juan, say when you have any of these toys in your back shelf that you see as well.
I didn't get as deep in on Star Wars collecting, but I did just get the AT-AT Lego set.
Oh, nice.
That one I'm going to be playing with soon. But I unfortunately didn't have as many of the classic Star Wars toys. I was more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Star Trek.
Battlestar Galactica!
There you got it. Good one. I was wondering if anybody would remember. And there was another one I just wanted to print.
You've got the Cylons.
Ashley's shaking her head like, I don't know.
And that had like the little red, it had the little red lasers that when you flipped open the wings, the red laser would fire out. It was like a little
it's got some
out
of there. And I've got like the old Hoth sets that they had.
Oh, that's cool.
Hoth is
There's
rad.
a lot of stuff in this box.
Oh my God, no way.
Sets, like this stuff so if I put it all together, man, it's crazy how much this would be all work. But I just want to. Oh man.
Better pull out a tauntaun.
So that's the tip of the iceberg with those old toys. And as I mentioned, I almost had access to a 3D printer, and I was going to start slowly printing off parts of those that I needed, and I was going to get, because if you look online, just say I just wanted to get like the turret for the Millennium Falcon, including shipping, I'd probably have to pay like $50 for it just for the little turret, which is ridiculous, right? Jabba the Hutt in there somewhere. I actually got Jabba the Hutt.
Chris, did you see this? I got this recently because, again, super nerd kid. They reissued the first 6
Kenner.
And what's really cool is that they actually shipped them on the old
cars.
Hey.
Keep going. Just give me 1 sec. Keep going. I gotta grab
like this, like they're beautiful recreations. Like I remember having like the original ones of
the
these,
ripped
and
corners.
I cry.
The ripped corners.
I cry knowing that I don't have them in their beautiful packages. But I saw this online and I thought, oh God, I'll throw my money. That's fine. This is the equivalent of middle-aged men strippers now. Just toy companies doing retro stuff. Just I'm gonna throw loonies and toonies.
Yeah,
so if you want a little more retro, I don't know. I don't know if I can share my screen. I might be able to.
Oh, what is that?
Chris
Let's
is
get
excited.
Chris. Hold on.
Chris, what is
got?
that?
Oh my goodness.
The figure display diorama.
It's like the reissue of the
original
diorama.
Wow. Oh, see, that's cool.
50 dual location. What's it say, Chris? 50 dual location. What at the front? Oh, look at that. Yeah. Oh my God.
That's amazing. See, and I love the fact that they decided to reissue a lot of these Kenner things because you can go on
stuff in here. I'm tripping over everything.
You can go on eBay and you can drop hundreds, thousands of dollars on the originals, but you know what? At this point, I just want a brief reminder of what it was. I don't want to, mortgage the house to relive my 5 and 6 year old, life. But it's cool that they're doing that with some of these.
And it's one of the things I'm talking to my daughter about. Like, it's not that you keep everything, but if a toy was really meaningful to you, don't listen to other people who are like, oh, you're gonna grow up and stop caring about those toy things. There's so many like individual little toys and collectibles. Now I see in antique shops, you'll see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you're like, I should have kept at least the 4. The original Turtles. Like, I had the squishy head Turtles. I loved those things more than anything else. And I remember on a move, my parents going like, oh, well, you're going to pack up all this stuff, and maybe it's time you got rid of some of those toys. Yeah. And you're like, you're not really playing with
famous
them.
last words. Yes.
Oh, man. Don't.
Juan, you just sent me this.
Don't do that. So this is the monitor I was describing.
Look at that.
It's called the Checkmate 19-inch. And it is an LCD, but it's got that retro depth paneling look. And then if you scroll down, you'll see it's got like every single input you could possibly want for old classic consoles.
Wow.
So
that's
this
very
was just
cool.
on
That's
Nostalgia
something.
Nerd. And if you're into like the actual, I'm fine with emulation. I totally get the people who want the authentic hardware console experience. But if you want that, it is such a pain dealing with every single different combination of cables and adapters and other things that you need to do to make it work with a modern TV. So something like this looks like it would be amazing, and they don't seem like they're that expensive. Like for a decent 19-inch 4x3 monitor being somewhere around like, they're each under 300 pounds sterling. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
I go to the UK often, so maybe I'll see if I can find one. I'll ship it over.
I always break the Atari controllers, the classic ones. I'm always breaking.
Oh yeah, the joysticks were miserable. I had an Atari XE and we went through I think 3 different controllers just from my mom, like really moving it around. So then we got a Nintendo and she was like flinging the controller trying to make Mario jump. It was great.
How are Jimmy and Rookie not on this podcast? Just for the jealousy factor. I'll answer that question, Dean Blundell Show. Both Rook and Jimmy were sent the link. So if Jimmy and Rookie are listening or watching,
calling you out,
possibly they could click on the link and join the show. That's all I'm going to say. You can put it out to the network, and here we are. Ashley's here all the time. Thank you, Ashley.
Well, folks, I should probably get
yes,
going.
we're gonna jump. We're gonna jump here. Let's go. Let's go. Run the horn. Okay, Juan, we'll let you go first. Tell everybody all about the things.
Hey, I'm Juan Bagnell. I post around the internet now, also on the Mastodon as some gadget guy. I'm going to be doing a series of buying and shopping videos with slick deals, and I review all kinds of consumer electronics. Getting into the new year, I'm really going to be trying to focus less on the most expensive smartphones that people don't buy, and instead looking at more lifestyle technology, accessibility technology, mobility technology, e-bikes, healthier lifestyles with tech, hearing products, portable heads-up displays. Like I've started playing with smart glasses that you can use as a different kind of monitor for when you're traveling. That's going to be a major focus coming into the new year, so that you can all look really cool with like projector headsets and stuff. I'm really excited because
that's some Doc Brown looking stuff there.
That is, buddy. That is, buddy. That is.
So the future of all this, I think, is really trying to find more organic interactions, and then also healthier ways to interact with this stuff. So that's going to be a major focus for the next year. I podcast every week. Won't be podcasting next week for the holidays, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun toys. So I'm always down to meet other geeks who really enjoy this stuff.
Yay!
We appreciate you coming on and making a time for us always. Check out some Gadget Guy on YouTube.
This is
literally
a blast,
the best YouTube channel ever.
Check
It's
is
the
in the
best.
mail.
Goddamn, I love
I
that.
can't wait to check it out.
It's so good. Everything you didn't think you needed.
Change your
Like,
life.
I got to go buy one of those now. Yeah, better go buy one of those. I haven't bought a phone in 5 years without checking with him first. So there we go.
There you go.
Pretty sure my husband's buying a robot right now. So
Juan, new show on the way in 23 about this changing up a little bit. Details to come, but you're welcome back anytime. So thanks buddy.
Cheers, buddy.
Bye. All right, Ash.
thanks for having me. Delightful
wonderful.
time as always. If anybody's, not doing anything Wednesday, tune in. The guys on Dean Blundell are going to have former Leafs announcer Paul Hendrick on with Jimmy.
Cool.
So
There we go.
check that out. It'll be 3-ish, 4-ish, whenever they decide to do it, because.
Well, I want to say thanks. You've been a big supporter of the show. You've been on a bunch,
definitely.
and you always bring a great amount of people to come and check it out and say hello. And we are super grateful for that. So hopefully they will come along to the new show, which is going to be really rad. So thanks.
I'll
Ash.
keep
Appreciate
sending them
it.
the links. Always
You're the
happy to be
best.
here. Thanks for having me.
Have a great Christmas, friend.
Yeah.
You as well. Happy holidays.
And that
everybody.
husband of yours too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell
You
him.
too. Yeah, sure. Okay. Thanks, Bren.
Night,
Cheers.
James.
Bye.
See you.
And it just seems natural that we end it with this
Hey,
guy. That,
Mike.
Wow, this is crazy, huh?
You know what I mean? We just figured we put it. You did the intro, and you've been on a bunch, and you co-hosted a bunch, and
It's amazing.
We
This
appreciate
has
you.
been-
We appreciate you coming and spending the time with us, and being a part of the show and a part of the history of the show.
It was honestly this has been so much fun, and for so many different levels. I mean, I loved when we did the recap stuff, and when we got into the wrestling. Even we have our own version of the Lost episode,
the legendary
episode,
Lost.
the legendary
episode.
Lost.
I've brought that up so
KOTE
much, Mike.
episode.
It's funny.
Which may or may not rear its head again down the
Who knows?
road.
It's, time moves on, right? But no, this has been fun, and I loved. I mean, you guys together have such a history and be such a great camaraderie, and it's always fun to work with people that are of the same mindset and the same loves and hates and the little sparring back and forth. But it's always been very cool to come on, and also very cool to dig up all the old crap and show it off and talk about cool nerdy stuff, because at our age now, it's cool to be a nerd. Like back then, not so cool. Now it's actually kind of cool to be a nerd.
I was going to point out after I was doing my frothing at the mouth with all my toys that I actually did okay with the ladies growing up, but that I was being a heterosexual dude. I was going to point out, I did.
He's the one nerd I know that did well.
Yeah.
I did well. I was had an attractive girl on my arm, even when I was a youngling.
It's good. Well, you were the one. You had
The only one.
power. You were the Obi-Wan that did. But no, dudes, it's a lot of fun, and thanks for letting me be a part of the show, like from doing the intros and all that stuff, and having me on to gab away. I'm very saddened that we didn't really get a chance to dig into some of the later shows, like Chris Andor. Wow. Like, holy crap.
You know what, dude? I'm almost finished it. So when we come back around, I'm going to talk about that, and we'll definitely have you on the show.
We should.
It's for us adults, I think.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Right? And plus, it was very cool to meet your friends, like the guys that you grew up with, and you guys knew, and sort of the weird crossing of streams. Bad example, but like
Ghostbusters.
Like the Todd Kearns and my wife being a huge fan of Todd's band back in the day and having autographs and sort of like that kind of thing, and Fitz and all those guys. Very cool. And shouts to Dean for letting us play on this this platform. So yeah, man,
it's been exciting. And Todd and the guys said, Todd's like, I'm standing by with retro everything. I'm just in Hamilton right now, actually.
Oh, is he?
He's hanging out. But it's he wanted to come on, and I just saw them a couple days ago down Vegas way, and they're all just super busy right now. So.
Oh, your second home.
My second home.
Yeah. You're like you're like the $1 million man, and you've got like your winter residence.
It's insane, but it's been a blast, dude. And I said, lots of fun ahead. Chris has got a great plan for this new show. And while you're on here, we'll just run the graphics so everyone can see what's coming, my friends. That's right, 2023, live from Machete Comics. Just like that, giant production. Fireworks, things, other things.
The conspiracy theory. So I just did the moon on the first. Great. And I got a question for Mike before we go. But the one coming up is going to be the paranormal one, where I actually did a seance when I was a kid, and I'm going to have a friend of mine on the show because shit hit the fan, man. And I will tell you all about it. And you know me, I'm not afraid of ghosts. I believe in ghosts, but they don't scare me. This was not a ghost. Amazing. This is amazing. So Mike, we're talking about the moon and how you could possibly live on the dark side. Nobody would know because there's like 30 miles of crater, right? So you could actually live underneath there. If the government and everybody put together a station on the moon, you weren't totally underground. There was big glass things. You could see the earth in the morning, and well, you would see it. If you have to on the dark side, you wouldn't see the earth. You would see the other planets. Okay. Maybe they would have it on the earth side too. Everything's there for you. They got a doctor. They got the gardens all set up. Would you go for the first batch of people?
Oh, would I be one? Oh, yeah.
A new society, my friend. So they're like, we're starting a new society on the moon.
Okay.
We have all your basic needs, right? Your basic needs. You'll be taken care of, no problem. But you are the first society to live on the moon. Would you go?
We need doctors, we need lawyers, we need athletes, we need comic book artists. We need comic book artists, and we need voiceovers.
Yeah, we need somebody to we need somebody to be Mayday, Mayday, abandoned ship, abandoned ship.
Generally, when they do these things, you want creative-minded people, right?
Sure.
Like, this is what you want. You don't want the lawyers. You don't want those. You don't want the politicians. When you start a new society, you generally want smart, creative people. So, Mike, being a smart, creative person, and you're on the invite list, you can take if you wanted to, you could take up to 3 people with you. Okay. Wow. You got your tickets. Would you go?
My heart says no, but my head says go. Maybe because I just watched that movie, The Passengers, with Chris Pratt.
We just talked about it. We just talked about it last week.
Oh, did you? Yeah. That would have. I probably would not have lasted as long as he did.
Right.
If I was
Here's the thing about the moon, though, right? Here's the thing. Also, another point I got. So,
can I come back to visit?
Well, you could. It takes 3 days to get from Earth to the moon.
Oh, hell, that's fine. This
is what I'm saying. You can see the Earth. It's not like, I'm like, I can't even see the Earth anymore.
I've got the perfect. Then the perfect plan is I'll go there for 6 months of the year because Carolyn will be in Florida for 6 months of the year.
Yeah.
I'll be up here. I don't want to spend 6 months in Florida. I don't want to spend 2 weeks in Florida most times. So yeah. Oh, I'm totally down with the moon.
That's actually that's a smart response. I like that.
Not only that, Mike, that they're going to need people to go when parking your vehicle.
They are.
Please, enter into and then the sliding doors. It's like the cafeteria is on the right, and
please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, mantenga ante alejado de las puertas.
Mike, you'd be chosen to be the new voice of a new generation, a new society.
Oh, that's fine. I'm totally down with that.
That would be amazing. Can you imagine?
Can we bring Schwarzenegger with us? Because I just want Schwarzenegger up there too, kind of like in Total Recall. When
dude, you got three people you can bring with you. So
we're going to the moon.
Quaid, come on.
Yeah, no, that's totally it. Yeah, because
do the line, Arnold.
She's good. She's good in Florida for 6 months. I'll be great on the moon for 6 months.
Right, I love that. Okay,
the kids will have their own lives. They can come visit if they need to.
You are the first person that said you would go, other than me.
I'm in, just as long as we're not taking the penis ship from Jeff Bezos. To get us back and forth, so we're good.
This would look more like the Millennium Falcon if I designed it.
Can we dress like the people in the Star Lost?
Any way you want. That's the thing. Well, I think we should all come together and come up with a new way of dressing and everything, right? And that would be up for grabs. That would be up for vote. That's how the new society would work.
Sleek lines, a lot of white jumpsuits, but see, I don't have any chest hair, so I wouldn't look as good like as the 70s guys.
I'll share some of mine, Mike. That's okay.
That's fantastic. I'm in.
Cheers.
All right, buddy.
Okay, great.
Guys, tell us where you're at. Tell us all the things for one last time.
Guys,
Mike, tell us.
You know what?
We're not doing this on the new show. We don't care about anybody on the new show. Yeah, so you're going to do it now. It's got to be right now.
If you watch the showcase, if you watch the Stack TV, you'll hear me somewhere. And don't forget, Leon's, the big Boxing Day sale is coming up. And if you don't know that yet, just keep watching the TV because I'll tell you, them's good peeps down there at Leon's. Plug, Ola. So, guys. What? Sorry, Ryan.
You're just on. I'll just be watching TV. Ever watching your dog? I'm like, oh, there's Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Lonnie's the same way. She goes, I think that's Mike. It's like, that's Mike.
Hey man, I get to work in my little box here. That's doubles as my.
We almost had
little
Marianne
podcast.
Iverson on here too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
She was going to come on, but she fell asleep because this is like Chris. This is late, right? We're running a little late for you Ontarians.
10:30 here.
But
that's great, guys, and again, thanks so much for
buddy.
having me on this one, and I'm looking forward to what's to come. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, boys, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, a lot of do, and we'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah. Cheers,
right.
buddy.
See you guys.
See, Mike could go. There you go.
Yep.
It's the only one.
You didn't give me the option to come back. You said I had to go and stay.
No, I told you that there'd be like a. I don't know. I've mentioned that.
Maybe. I'm away a lot. I'm away 9 months a year anyway, so it wouldn't be. And I'm actually going. Speaking of lost episodes, I'm actually kicking off my year in Saudi Arabia this year.
Nice.
In 23, and it's going to take me almost 3 days to get there. So it's basically the same thing.
It is.
Yeah,
well, see, that's what I mean. That was my point. Is that you can see the Earth. You can get back there. They have you would say every 3 days, or you'd have 2 ships going. So every 2 days, somebody be coming and going, right?
Yeah. Okay, I could do
You'd
that.
have to send supplies maybe for the first while too.
I'll probably end up having to do a show up there anyways. So
eventually you'd have to organize that kind of thing. But the cool thing because I watched a documentary on the people that built the biodome and stuff. For some reason it came on, and they were just a bunch of hippies.
That movie with Pauly Shore.
No, that's funny though. But no, the actual one. These hippie guys and girls that just got together and started their own. They're just a bunch of smart people, and their whole essence of it was starting a new society with creative people. No lawyers, no businessmen, no politicians. Artists, artisans, and very key scientists.
Well, I dig that idea. I'll let
yes,
you know
I
how
do
that
too.
Goes. Yeah. All right, friends. We ran long, but we don't care because this is the last show. This is the last one of 22 for us at Kids on the Escalator podcast. This is the last show as the Kids on the Escalator podcast. As mentioned, we're launching in 2023 with live from Machete Comics, which is going to open up a whole plethora of opportunity and just different ways to go with the show. Buy Chris's comic because it's out. The variant is
December
out.
28th. December 28th. It'll be available at the mall. Hopefully, there'll be no kids on the escalators because there is escalators.
Yeah.
I'll do a my day when I do this, and then the following day, Friday, December 29th, you will be able to buy it online. Dude, Ryan, I just put on YouTube. That's what I do lately when I'm drawing. When I'm in my drawing room, I draw, and I'll put on the old commercials. Oh man,
Give like Santa,
save like Scrooge. Canadian Tire, brother.
Mel, thanks for the help. We missed DaCosta tonight, who actually didn't show up. We've had a plethora of people. That's twice I've used that word, but we've had a bunch of people stop by and support the cause. Again, Ash, thanks for all your support. Everybody that's watched from Incarnation. I said we're only away for a couple of weeks, but it's going to come out with a brand new theme, and we just never know where it's going to go. This opens up way more opportunities for Chris to go alone on some solo stuff if I'm away, plus have different shows within the show. It just creates more opportunity for more things, more streaming, more everything.
A little more of a variety show, I'm thinking. It's
sure.
going to be a little more of you're tuning in to see, who's the cool new bands in the area, what new band, like Gary's band tonight, like Elephant.
Totally.
Some movie gems, some cinema gems, some TV gems. I think I'm going to start off actually with some on the Plethora's Bonzi. I think I'm going to start off with some TV gems, and what I'd like to do is go over the first season of The Walking Dead with comparison to the comic book. And I think that would be a great deep dive, is doing that. And then also on the first episode, we're going to be diving into paranormal seances. And I got a great story for y'all, man. This is 100% real. I'm not bullshitting anybody. I have one of my friends on who is a great supporter of the show as well, Jim McDermott. Hope you're watching, Jim. Yeah, and it's mind-blowing. So that is going to be my, the Cult of Machete on the very first show there. And I got some skits and stuff, some characters. I'm promising you a different intro on every show, a different beginning.
And we've got, the other side of it too is we want to thank our friends at Dean Blundell who are giving us, give us the opportunity. Everybody involved, Ryan, Rookie, Dean or George, Lachlan for coming on, all those guys for the support of the show and giving us a platform to launch, to build a base and launch a brand new show, which I think is going to just be more streamlined. Even though we got so many cool things, we had so much fun with the reviews, as Mikey mentioned. We had so many different guests on. Quickly, highlights from this past run of all these shows that we did. Anything that really stuck out to you that was kind of a favorite of yours during this whole thing?
They were all really good. I don't know. It's I like the Simpsons episode because I don't know. It just brought me back to a really cool. I really like the Simpsons episode, but I also like when we were doing our top. They were all good because we did our top Halloween movies. Actually, I really like the show. The first year, I think I remember I had a little too much to drink, and I got a little political, if I remember correctly. But X-naying that show that I had too much to drink. That was the day that because I was on air for like 2 hours before that, and I thought it'd be a great idea to do that and then jump on this show. Yeah. And it turned out that was not the right idea.
It's just the way it goes. We build this thing out. It's not as produced as Dean's show. We just kind of we go with it, and the people join us when they do. But we've had a great group of people of support.
Yeah, I can't pick my favorite, dude, because it was so much. We had so much fun.
Musicians on. We had Ted from Death Angel. Some of your favorite metal bands. We had Ted from Death Angel, Darren from Goldfinger, Todd and Brent from Slash's band. Brent just played with Ace Frehley, by the way, which you'll get a kick out of. Nice. Yeah, I just had a whole thing there. Ryan says that's the best machete. The wasted machete.
What was that?
The best. Ryan said that's the best machete.
Wasted machete.
But we just had so many great people give time, and one of the funny bits for me was that, especially with WandaVision, when WandaVision came out, no one had a fucking clue what it was about, and you called it, and then we were able to pull Dean and Locke and everybody into it and get them watching it, and then they were totally hooked after that. I thought that was like solidified the show. Out
of the whole fourth.
Yeah. It's just so funny that sort of solidified the show for me, where it was like, oh wait, everything Chris did was there. And one last thing before we go, I have to give an update on this, but we got to give an update on Charlie, man.
Puppy.
And look at how big this guy is now.
Hi, puppy.
This is Charlie, and speak, Chris. Oh, he's gonna speak. You gonna say something there, bud? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Hello.
Yeah. This guy here is getting up to like 14 pounds. You gonna say hi there, Samantha? There we go. There's Samantha coming in, and they're bringing it. And we just wanted to give that, considering Mike brought Alf into the mix. I figured we'd bring Charlie into the mix.
There you go. Plus, my parents will want to see your dog.
That's right. Gracious Gary, Dangerous Dorothy. Thank you for all of your support. Smith is wearing a Joan Jett hoodie, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. And we just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you so much for the show. Thank you for everything.
Cheers. Party on. Be excellent to each other.
We'll be back in like the third week of January, something like that. This has been the Kids on the Escalator podcast. That's Chris Machete. That's Charlie. That's Chris Machete. I'm Brent from the Brentland Tour podcast. Good times.
Right, dudes.
Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Enjoy the holidays. That was fun.
Lamp.